everyone. I'm recording this at the end of the last year, but I'm going to post it sometime on the 1st of January. So Happy New Year, everyone. I hope you spent New Year's Eve in a nice way with friends and relatives or loved ones. And I'm going to show you the Capricorn New Moon, which is going to be exact in London on the 2nd of January at 18:33, so in the evening. Of course, new moons are not non-observable by the naked eye, simply because the sun and the moon are conjunct, exactly conjunct, and whatever is near the moon, or near the sun, sorry, is going to be obscured, of course. New moons, by definition, are about renewal, about fresh starts, about action, about emergence. And Capricorn is the sign of building structures, creating new bases for things. It's a very interesting time of the year. It has a paradox, really. It carries a deep paradox, because the first day of Capricorn is the winter solstice. And we are celebrating it as the light renews itself. The sun reaches its southernmost position, and here in the northern hemisphere, this is the longest night, the shortest day. And after that, as the sun is turning back towards the equator, the celestial equator, the nights are getting shorter, the days are getting longer. We won't actually realize this probably until the middle of January, maybe end of January, simply because it's just a tiny bit every day how the light is growing. And also because, and here's the paradox, because at the same time, the temperatures will drop. And we are going to be in the dead of the winter time, and it's going to be very cold, especially here in Budapest, where I reside. We usually have very harsh winters with tons of snow and frost. Lately, we haven't had that many snowy days, but hopefully, I'm just hoping, because my granddaughter, my older granddaughter, loves snow, so I'm hoping for her that we will have some snow. At the moment, we only have frost and ice. But anyhow, so the paradox of the Capricorn new moon is precisely this: that although the light has turned and the days are going to be longer, the temperatures are going to be much colder. So there is this hope and hopelessness. So hope to have better times and nicer days, and at the same time, complete, utter despair. It's still dark, it's still cold, it's getting colder. Imagine even 100 years ago, how harsh the winters used to be, and people didn't have things to eat by early spring. So it was a terrible time, really. And what Capricorn symbolizes is the willingness to somehow overcome the difficulties, the hardship, and at the same time understand that if you don't build structures around you, you won't survive. And that's exactly Capricorn. So let's take a look. I prepared another little Word document for you. This is the best. I think I'm fumbling the least with this, although I'm capable of fumbling with everything. So hopefully I won't. So this is the London chart. And the precise moment in London is 1833, as I believe I already said. And Leo is rising. So the sun-moon conjunction, the sun in the sun-moon conjunction is actually ruling it. It's a very, very important sign, rising sign, because if you have Leo rising, you are capable of shining on your pathway. So yes, you want to show off, and yes, you are capable of showing off. You're capable of creating an atmosphere around you which you can rule, which you can be the sovereign of. And the London chart has, I highlighted for you what is important in this chart. And then, of course, we are going to look at the structures as well. And this is interesting because we have Aries on the midheaven, and Aries is creation through, it's the drastically altered outward circumstances, and Lilith asteroid Lilith is also there, which is revolt against injustice. So on the midheaven, this suggests that in the next couple of weeks, you Londoners will revolt against injustice, and yes, there will be drastically altered outward circumstances. So you can actually hope for even harsher measures when it comes to this pandemic, as I often call it. You have also Saturn on the descendant, which suggests that, okay, you will have serious adversaries, serious problems that you need to overcome, that hardship will come from direct opposition. And you also have, of course, the Sun-Moon conjunction, which is on the 6th, on the cusp of the 6th. So there's going to be a lot of work. Also, as the 6th house is the house of health, there will be health problems, unfortunately. So it's not over yet. And it also means that, as we say, the 6th house is karma in the making. So here, the rulers and the people need to work together in order to achieve some sort of understanding. We also have an exact trans-Pluto dark moon Lilith conjunction, and dark moon is the middle episode, the second turning point of the Lilith myths, when Lilith leaves the Garden of Eden, and Yahweh sends 3 of his angels after her, demanding that she go back, and of course she refuses. So what happens then? Yahweh puts a curse on her, but she still doesn't go back, and actually she accepts the curse upon herself. So it means that no matter what, I'm not going to comply. Trans-Pluto is channeling. It's also higher dimensional energy. It either represents a dimension jump, or it represents the necessary information that I'm channeling down. It's in the 2nd house of this chart. And in the Hungarian chart, in the Budapest chart, this conjunction falls in the 1st house. And I just started to think about this, how important then this conjunction is. It's also in the 2nd house, of course. The house of resources is important, but I had this train of thought, which is important, that nowadays, of course, you are listening to my video, so you're doing the same thing, but nowadays we are never quiet. There's a lot of noise around us, a lot of things are going on. You're either out there in the streets talking to people, talking on the phone, listening to something on the radio, a podcast, watching a movie in the TV. So there's always noise around us. And instead of just stopping on our course, switch off everything and listening to the inner voice. That's what this conjunction suggests. So try to look inward, because the more noise you have outwardly, the less you can concentrate on what's going on truly inside your own psyche. If you want to understand your own psyche, try to look inward and try to understand what is going on. That's important. What else is here? Besides the Sun, Moon, and the Saturn descendant, and the triple MC Aries and Lilith conjunction, and the trans-Pluto dark moon conjunction, we also have this triple conjunction of Mercury, which has just gone into Aquarius. It's tightly conjunct Astrea, which is still at the end of Capricorn, and of course Pluto is also at the end of Capricorn. So this is a triple conjunction out of sign in many ways, as Mercury is the fastest moving of the 3. It is really separating from the conjunction. Mercury in Aquarius is very smart, but it's also likes theories and likes bright ideas that are structural. Astrea is transforming and actually changing old embedded karma. This could be related to how you talk or how you listen to information, what you do with information, and also because Mercury is children, denotes the child archetype. That also you can actually change or break old embedded karma regarding your relationship, either as a child to your family or as a mother to your, or father to your children. And then Pluto, the transformer, is also there. So this triple conjunction was also there in the January chart, which I am offering a workshop on the new year ahead to my London school, London astrology group. So I haven't prepared anything for you guys yet, but it probably will be coming soon. And then Venus, of course, is still retrograde. And as you can see, Venus and Juno are applying towards each other, because Juno is direct and Venus is retrograde. And Juno is the first lady, the spouse, the wife archetype. Venus is the lover archetype. And this is a brilliant conjunction because the two are getting together. So you can actually look at the two roles and you can actually combine the two roles in your own psyche or in your own behavior. There is a dissolved karmic cage in this chart. Jupiter has just moved into Pisces. It moved into Pisces on the 29th of December. One of my previous videos, I explained this. And it makes an exact T-square with the nodal axis. Actually, on the 2nd, it's almost exact. It's going to be exact on the 3rd, but it's a couple of minutes away from exactness. And a karmic cage is important in a natal chart because usually the south node denotes our survival kit, what we do in a situation when we are cornered or threatened, while the north node is our chosen destiny. And in a lifetime, we usually use this south node as a behavior pattern, and only later in life can we choose, or are we willing to choose, the challenges of the north node, the new one, the unknown one. And whenever you have a planet squaring both, creating a T-square, but this is what we call in karmic astrology as a karmic cage. Those squares are constantly reminding you of the dilemma and actually helping you to resolve the dilemma. Not in a very nice way, admittedly, because it's a constant ongoing threat or ongoing challenge, but still Jupiter, of course, gives you faith and enthusiasm to do the task. On the north node, you still have the Sedna-Ceres conjunction, which is very, very tight now. Ceres is the nurturing principle, and Sedna is creation through dissection, which still means that whenever you have an issue regarding your family or regarding the nurturing principle that is not working, then try to look at it and try to rearrange the bits and pieces into a workable action. And then the Mercury-Astrea conjunction, which is still tight, is actually trining this triple conjunction. So this is the dissolution of the karmic cage. Understanding and karma breaking will help you to dissolve it. And then this is another interesting sector, which is only in the London chart because I'm including the ascendant descendant. And of course, the Saturn on the descendant. So you would not have the fixed T-square involving the Uranus-Saturn fixed square, which has been there for a while. This was last year's main astrological feature. And you may remember that Saturn is the controller, the keeper of stuff. Saturn gives you tasks, but wants to keep everything intact. And Uranus is, of course, blowing everything up into the air. And he is the anarchist, the anarchist archetype, or the changer, or the challenger. And in the London chart, you have it in a T-square, in a fixed T-square. So it's going to be very acute for Londoners. But luckily, there's also a cardinal fixed, a cardinal fire engine, because there's a Chiron Sun-Moon square. This is the cardinal square, where actually this is a separating square because Chiron is at 9 degrees and the Sun-Moon are at 12, maybe 13 degrees Capricorn. So this is separating. The moon will leave the square in a couple of hours and the sun in a couple of days. But the engine, as it is cardinal, it helps you to overcome whatever difficulties you have. And the fire trine is, of course, helping the transformation processes. So that's the essence of the London chart. And I wish you a happy new year. I wish you happy Capricorn New Moon. Be with your loved ones. Change your life in a way that is necessary for you. Build new structures on which the new year can actually reside and grow. And thank you for listening. Bye-bye.